Okay. I feel like I should explain the Lex Fridman situation. I can't say everything. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to explain every single thing, but the vague version of the story. Lex Fridman appeared in my chat, said he thinks I have an interesting mind. I emailed him. He emailed me back. We talked on the phone. He said that I was a sweetheart and that he would help YouTube. He would tell YouTube to unban me at some point. He wrote very warm words about me and my work. He said that he wanted to fly me down to Austin for a ride on his Magic Carpet podcast. Hugely successful podcast. I was like, great. This is exactly the leg up I need right now. This is perfect. Then he emailed me and said, I saw you admit that you hit your ex-wife on a stream. And I think I would really need to push back on that. So I made a video called How I Learned to Stop Hitting Women. And I have admitted that I hit my ex-wife. I also made it pretty clear that she hit me too, and that I was not like beating her. It was more like we would get into physical altercations. I felt very bad about my participation in these altercations. None of us were ever injured or marked, except one time when she bit me. But other than that, it was pretty physically harmless. Psychologically, though, I agree, it's abusive. Even if you're doing it back, it's abusive. Even if it's mutual, I think it's abusive and wrong. So, thanks for subscribing, Dario. I am not man or woman. I am a horse. You are now. So I made a video explaining how I started going to therapy and how I learned to express myself differently and more healthily. I learned to moderate my emotional responses and sit with my feelings. Become a better communicator and partner. And I explained all this context was there, and he was like, I think it's a big red flag about the character of a man. So I want to postpone our conversation. I really want to talk to you. I think you're so honest and raw and vulnerable. But it's not a conversation I want to have at this time. So I said, first I was like, well, I don't know, not sure what you'd push back on. It's not like I'm pro spousal abuse. Like, I don't think it'd be much of an argument. Unless you're pro spousal abuse and you're pushing back on me not hitting my ex-wife. I don't think that's what he meant, though. So I sent him a video. I sent him the video. Here's how I learned to stop hitting women. You can watch this, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, great, I'll look at this, heart emoji, stay strong, brother. And then I talked about it with my friends, and I talked about it with Shaylin, and she looked at me like I was a loser. And you may not know this, but Shaylin's opinion of me is pretty important to me. And if Shaylin's going to look, and so I was like, I didn't feel good. So I emailed him again, and I said, listen, I'm watching myself suck up to you, and it's exactly where I don't want to be. The whole point of being honest, being myself, being raw, admitting this shit, is to not have to then go through some purity test to convince somebody that I'm clean enough to go on their podcast. So I don't want to do this. If you want to have me on your podcast, great. But don't tell me I'm so raw and honest, but then tell me I'm too dirty to go on your podcast. And he said, listen, I'm doing all these interviews in Ukraine about the war, and those are the things I want to be attacked for. I don't want to be attacked for a conversation with you. Which basically meant to me, okay, so he doesn't really think I have bad moral character. He just thinks other people are going to think that. And then it just kind of clicked to this is a problem between you and your audience. It has nothing to do with me. It's not a problem between you and me. I don't think Lex Fridman thinks any negatively about me. I think he thinks his own audience will turn on him if he is seen being warm or cordial toward me, or gushing over my work as he did in private. And this is a very triggering, toxic dynamic for me, going back to my family and a lot of relationships I've had where people secretly love me, but in public they're like, oh, and they pretend they have a problem with me in public, but really it's a problem. You have a problem with your own audience, and I don't want to be publicly humiliated by it. I don't want to be publicly distanced from, and because he already made the offer and then withdrew it at a time when I really needed it, and I semi-announced the offer, and he publicly initiated contact with me, I felt that I need to just say I don't. So I wrote him back and I said I don't want to go on your podcast anymore. I don't want to wait to see if you determine that there's a safe way to present me. And I said, if you're going to extend your hand to me during a very dark time, when you withdraw it, don't pretend that you're my brother. Don't call me brother, and don't wrap it in compliments. You're making what is a cold, calculated business decision. You're just making it worse. And that was that. I said that, and then he didn't respond. And then I tweeted it out. Lex was chubby chasing you. Yes, exactly. Exactly.